Hello everyone, Dan here. We had a question about managing helicopters, having them fly a route, land at an HLZ, delay for a few minutes, and then take off again on that route. Instead of trying to explain all the different ways you can do it, I figured I'd just go ahead and make a video. I'm going to do the stream of consciousness, so if I run into any problems, you're going to see me address those problems and figure my way around it. So there's two basic approaches. You can either do this live if you're really good at clicking as quickly as you need to. You can go with that, or you can go with the script editor. I'm going to show you both ways to do this. So let's go ahead and do it. We have MACE loaded up with fob Nina, and we have the fob as well in MACE. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a UH-60 off to the east. I'm actually going to make a 3 ship, but first I'm going to make the route for one of them. So just a little technique. Obviously the waypoints go off to the east there. I use the orbit tool just to kind of bring all the waypoints back in. Alright, hitting left control, I'm going to manage the waypoints. So he's going to fly over here, then up to the north. Then on waypoint 3 he's going to head towards the fob. Waypoint 4 he's going to take off, head to the north. Waypoint 5 over to the northeast. And then we're going to have them fly along that ridge line there. So we don't need any waypoints past that, so I'm going to delete all after. And that's going to be his route there. Okay, so the UH-60, I'm going to make 2 more of them. I'm actually going to use the copy tool. So all I needed to do was make the waypoints once. I'm going to do, actually let me just do that now. So I'm going to hit copy and put number 2 there. Number 3 there. So let's go ahead and give them call signs while we're at it. If you can't find something fast enough, you can just type it in. There we go. So I'm going to call him Dust Off 1. Click on the next guy. Dust Off 2. Dust Off 3. Alright, so we got our 3 aircraft and they're going to be flying that route. Okay, so let's give them a place to land. So I'm going to zoom in into the fob here and we're going to put down some VS-17 panels. Put one there, one there, one there. Okay, so if we look on Versig, you'll notice that they are oriented north-south. We need to get these oriented with the base so they land at the proper angle. So one thing you can do is you can look in here and actually just eyeball it, take the orientation tool and just spin it around as you need. That might get you close. If you wanted to really get close to it, what you can do is line up the vector that you want. You hit R on Versig and it brings up the compass rose. And you can see that we're on a 300 heading. Or you can take the range and bearing tool and measure it out. And it looks like it's going to be 300. Remember, control right click right now to get rid of the line. There we go. Okay, so it's going to be a 300 heading. So what I'm going to do is type in 300 on orientation. I'm going to do that for the rest of them. So let's give these call signs. So, you know, helipad VS-17405, that's not really a good name for a place to land, so let's just call this LZ1. LZ2. LZ3. Okay, so we have our 3 landing areas. So if you don't want them to be visible, you could use the hidden option. So if you're going into a hot LZ, obviously there's not going to be a VS17 panel. The terrorists are dumb, but not that dumb. So you can hit hidden and it will disappear, but the thing is it's going to disappear from MACE as well. So you see it's gone from Versig, gone from MACE. It is still there, however. And if you need to bring it back, you can hit show hidden objects in MACE and he'll pop right back. And give it a second for Versig to get the message. And it should pop up. Oh, let me turn that off. Okay, there we go. There's our VS17 panel. Okay, so we now have the 3 aircraft. We have where they're going to land. And let's go ahead and make them do that. So what we can do this live. Let's do the live part first. So I'm going to add an action that at waypoint 3 for all of these guys, they are going to RTB. So I'm going to right click on waypoint 3, add an action, and that is to RTB. So the way RTB works is that if your landing zone call sign is filled in for your platform, that's going to be your base. That's where you're going to go. So for dust off 3, waypoint 3, that's going to be RTB. So let's go ahead and go through all these guys. Right click. I probably should have done this action first and then copied all those guys, but not a big deal. RTB. Click on dust off 1. Right click on the waypoint. Remember to look at the top here to make sure that you're clicking on the correct one. RTB. Okay, so they're all going to fly to waypoint 3 and then they're going to RTB. And then you can select all of them and tell them to take off and then they'll go back there. So let's go ahead and save as. Just in case I run into any technical problems. I had a few this morning. So, okay, we are set up for these guys to land. So I'm going to hit play, and they are running. For the sake of time, I'm going to increase time here so they move a little bit faster. And they are now following their route. Let's see if we can see them on the inbound course. I think I see them in the distance. What's their altitude? I didn't really set that. 50 feet. Oh man, they're coming in hot. That's okay though. Alright, so they're well on to waypoint 3. I'm going to slow down the clock there just so the aerodynamic model works properly. Okay, the helicopter should be coming inbound. Where is he at? Ah, there he is. Yep, he is flying low. So he passed waypoint 3. That action should have kicked in. So now he is going to RTB, and I can tell that he is heading directly towards the VS17 panels. Probably should have given them a little bit more altitude. It's probably the people at the chow hall are pretty ticked off at the moment. Okay, helicopters are coming in. He is landing there. And notice that the RTB action actually tells them to slow down to a landing speed and makes it a little bit more accurate. Oh no! You know what I did? I forgot to put in the LZ for each guy. So they're all going to land at the same exact point. Okay, so that proves a point why you want to save your progress before you hit play. Okay, so I said I would catch my mistakes, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop, and I'm going to load up that mission again. All right, so this time we are going to make them go to the proper LZs. So I'm going to right-click on the first guy, type in landing. Yep, landing call sign, nothing was in there. All right, so LZ1. Click on the next guy. LZ2. And just a little technique, you know, the word's already there. I'm just adding the N again, and it does the search all over again. So LZ3. Okay, now we're good. And while we're at it, let's make certain that their altitude is correct. So let's go ahead and select all these cats, holding a left shift, right click. Got all three of our guys here, so let's find route altitude. And I'm going to say 500 feet AGL. And I'm going to apply that to the group. So all three of these guys need to fly 500 feet AGL as they're coming in. Okay, and I'm going to save it again now that I got my progress in there. Hit play one more time. Mission controls, moving forward. And hopefully now that they're at 500 feet, you should actually see them descend. And once I start getting close to waypoint 3, I'll slow down time again. Remember, you want to be cautious whenever you're speeding up time because you're making those aerodynamic calculations happen a lot faster than they should. So you end up with problems sometimes. Okay, so we got our UH-60 coming in. And hopefully that guy will land at LZ1. I hope so. I think I got the first guy in LZ1. Okay, first guy's touching down. Hope I have enough clearance for the second guy. Just checking to make sure the tail rotor cleared. Yeah, that's close, but probably would have moved it up just a little bit more. Okay, and the third guy's landing. All right, so I'm demonstrating first the live method. So we can have the scenario play out, students working his thing, trying to make it happen, and it's all up to the instructor to figure out when to make it happen. So what I can do to make these guys take off and then go back on the route, I'm going to select all three of them, go up to Entity Controls, under Perform Maneuver, I say take off, and they should all take off, and I see that they have black lines on them. So they are in intent, which means they're going to go back to their intended route. And off they go. If I want a proper formation, I can do each one separately to make sure there's a good separation, because these two UH-60s, they're kind of close. But there they go. They're back on their route. All right, so let's show how to do this with the script editor. So I'm going to open up that helo demo mission back again. Bring our helos back. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the actions anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this fully with the script editor. You have options. So I'm going to clear out that action for all three of these cats. Okay, so when waypoint 3 happens, they'll just continue flying their route. So let's bring open the script editor. So I'm going to make a script. Call it helos land. The trigger will be for the first helo to cross waypoint 3, just that guy. We can do an OR statement in case the first guy gets shot down, because you know if he's no longer there to get to waypoint 3, these other two guys are just going to merrily keep on heading along. So let's do, oh, did I rename Dustoff 2? I guess I didn't. Let me take care of that. I thought I hit return. No, I didn't. There we go. He's now known as Dustoff 2, or 02 to be more precise. Okay, so waypoint Dustoff 1 at waypoint 1. We want waypoint 3. So then, well, let's do an OR statement. Let's cover all of our bases. So waypoint arrival of Dustoff 2 at waypoint 3. Waypoint arrival of Dustoff 3 at waypoint 3. Okay, so this is an OR statement. So if any of these things happen, our actions will happen there. And we have triggers enabled, which means these things are armed and ready to go. And anytime you can just hit executing to make the action happen. All right, so our action will be under navigation. It'll just take me a second to find it. We have a lot of options these days. Let me add my 3 dudes first. So it's going to apply to all 3 of them. Edit that action. I think it's perform maneuver. Ah, there it is. It's under tactic. Return to base. That's the one we want. All right, assign tactic return to base to Dustoff 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then we're going to add an action, which is to delay the script for 30 seconds. Let's make it shorter, just for demonstration. No, actually, we want it a little longer, because what's going to happen is that he gets to waypoint 3, and then there's a delay of what's going to happen after that. So let's give that 45 seconds for the delay. So we're delaying there, and then we'll add another action. To take off. And we're adding our 3 guys again. Okay, so get to waypoint 3, land, take off again. All right, so that's one way of doing it. We could probably do a waypoint proximity as well, to make a separate script for them taking off, but let's see what happens when we do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. Okay, we are running. Speed 4. All right, so let's take a look at the scripts while this is happening, and we'll see things fire off. So they start getting to waypoint 3. I will slow this back down. Okay, back to normal time. Remember, we have a trigger where if any of these guys hit waypoint 3, then the rest of the script is going to happen. And I'm hoping I put enough delay in there. This is where you probably break it down into 2 scripts. You know, the people getting to the helicopter would be Helo's takeoff, for instance, which I might do that next. All right, so let's look at the status. One of them is met. So now the tactic is executing and he is coming in for a landing. All right, so the delay happened after the action was finished. That's my fault there. I thought that the counter might be going after the action is called, but we have a 45-second delay on the ground, and you can see there that the delay is executing. And I think I'm going to do a second script if I still have your attention. I know I'm like 25 minutes into this. So, okay, and they're all taking off. And off they go. Oh, they're still going to waypoint 3. So I would have needed to add another thing to say to go to waypoint 4, enter intent. So it looks like one of the aircraft made it far enough to trip the next waypoint. The other 2 guys didn't. So they're actually going to waypoint 3, and then they're going to go off to waypoint 4. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and reload that mission. This time around, I'm actually going to make a few guys enter into the aircraft. So I'm going to take some soldiers. So I'm just going to start with one. Get his waypoint exactly where I want it. Actually, let's just put them right there. Select all these guys, tell them to take a knee. They're waiting for the ride. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to take that action off. So I'm going to delete that one. And I'm actually going to remove that one as well. So we have a script for landing. And now we're going to have a script for taking off. So helo takeoff. All right, and the trigger will be, let's see, what would be the best way to do this? You could do it off of another script. We could do it time-based if we figured out exactly when they're going to land. Or we can just do it manually. Let's do that. Let's just fire the script ourselves and hit that executing, just as an example. Okay, so we're not going to put a trigger in here at all. So we're going to do an action. And the first action will be for these guys to attach. Add from map. All right, so they're going to attach to the helo. So attach to call sign, I believe that was dustoff 3 over there. Okay, so once they are attached, then we're going to have a delay. So I'm going to add in this delay here, 15 seconds. And then I'm going to tell the helos to take off. There we are. So they're going to take off, and then I'm going to tell them to go back to waypoint 4. So proceed to waypoint 4, enter intent, speed to 60 knots. And we're going to add that from the last action. So dust off 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So that should, let me just look at it one more time. That should make sense. Now remember, before you run your scripts, always make sure that your clock is at the proper time whenever you're going to start your mission. Hit save so you get your progress there. I've been doing this a lot, but even I make mistakes, so this is how I catch them. Make sure you don't end up with what's called a dirty mission, which means you save at so many seconds into the mission and things are already in progress. So always save at a state of things beginning. All right, so we got the file saved. Let's hit play. Speed up time. Okay, looks like they're getting near waypoint 3. Go ahead and slow time back down. Let's take a look at what's going on with our scripts. Okay, helos are coming in. So status is met, and they are landing. Okay, and they have landed. So now we're going to look at this one. Remember, we don't have any triggers. We're going to do it manually, so I'm going to execute the script. Let's keep an eye on our soldiers here. Let's make certain they do the right thing. Okay. Still in a crouch. That's kind of cool. Unintended. But it looks like they're getting in. Which helicopter? There's a brownout. Hard to see. Well, I don't see him anymore, so I think they got in the helicopter. Okay, and the delay is just kicked off, and they are taking off now. And they are going to waypoint 4 with the speed of 60. That guy took off a little bit higher because he's closer to the little hill there, so in order to clear it, he powered up just a little bit more. Okay, that was pretty successful. Usually when you do the script editor, it takes just a couple tries to make sure that you've accounted for everything. I come to expect it. It's just logically thinking through all the steps and making sure that you got everything. All right, so that's 2 methods of doing it, and showed you some extra things that you can do. I hope this helps explain the script editor and all the things that you can do with it, but also how to manage helicopters, delaying them, so forth. All right, I hope it was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later.